Hello, and welcome to today's episode of the Jacksonville Jaguars Insider Podcast. My name is John Shipley. I am your host and beat reporter, and I've been your beat reporter covering the Jacksonville Jaguars for On SI every single day since August 2019, and we are continuing to move forward to another offseason together. As always, Jaguars On SI delivers you the best 100% free 24/7 boots on the ground coverage of the Jaguars you will find anywhere. So make sure you lock in with us each day on social media, such as Facebook and Twitter, when you follow us at Jaguars on SI. And you can also find us at www.si.com/NFL/Jaguars. Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of the Jacksonville Jaguars Insider Podcast. Today, we are talking about the Jaguars signing first-round pick, number 2 overall pick, Travis Hunter, to his official rookie contract. Travis Hunter, I believe, was the 30th first-round pick to sign his contract. There are still 2 more in Shamar Stewart and DeAndre Barron with the Denver Broncos who have not. I will point out, I'm surprised Hunter wasn't at least the second to last to sign his contract. I figured signing a guy to a really unprecedented contract because he's going to be playing both positions, it should have been expected to be amongst the last contract signed of any rookies. How the Broncos haven't signed a guy who is potentially their nickel cornerback yet, and the Jaguars signed Travis Hunter to play 2 different positions, to me is rather surprising. And I don't want to say it was a long wait for Travis Hunter to get signed. They're still a month away from training camp practices. That rookie contracts, that's just a thing I've never just really have thought is that important, unless it's the rare situation like Shamar Stewart. If you're in the situation where your first round pick is openly saying the franchise has bad business practices and you're not going to suit up until they amend those practices, and by the way, your disgruntled veteran is also correct that you have bad business practices, that's obviously a noteworthy story. But that clearly hasn't been the case in Jacksonville. It's just, like, for instance, I had somebody ask me, why did it take so long? And they even said they're not trying to be snarky. They're just curious why to wait. And in my last couple of mailbags, I've had people ask, when will it sign? I purposely haven't answered them because to me, it was a case of, one, I don't know. I always tell you guys, I'll tell you 2 things, what I know and what I don't know. So I didn't know when he would sign, but I also didn't see it as something that was very pressing. I didn't see it as, okay, we're on Travis Hunter watch. When will he sign his contract? That wasn't anywhere near becoming, a thought in my universe. With that said, now that he is signed, I think it's worth pointing out that, he's going to be a rare player in the NFL. And as a rare player, he probably needed a rare contract. I'm not going to assume anything that's in there because I don't know the details of his contract. But you would have to think, as a 2-way player, there's some kind of language in there to define that. Their social media posts announcing the contract itself kind of said it all. The Jaguars have signed wide receiver Travis Hunter, and the Jaguars have also signed defensive back Travis Hunter. That, to me, says it all. Not only does it say how rare of a situation this is, because he is the kind of player who you need 2 posts to really detail what's really happening, but also the fact that the Jaguars are all in on letting Travis Hunter be Travis Hunter and letting Travis Hunter do this. I'm really not sure. Now, I don't think they're one of 32 franchises in terms of they'd be willing to take this on. I think a lot of teams, just for the sake of having a Travis Hunter on your roster, would be open to, experimenting with Travis Hunter. But to the Jaguars' credit, I will say all we can judge them on is what they've done. And what they've done since drafting Travis has made it very clear that they stand behind him in this endeavor. It's a bold and courageous one. As you guys have heard us say before, it's one that will have, far-lasting ramifications. You already saw Bo Melton practicing at wide receiver and cornerback, so you're already seeing a little bit of the Travis Hunter effect. It is one of the most consequential picks that they've made in franchise history, and It's sincerely one of the most interesting and biggest storylines in the NFL for 2025 season. I don't know when's the last time you could say that, at least about this franchise. Maybe when Trevor got drafted with Urban as head coach, but this feels even, deeper than that, because it's not people saying, "Ooh, look, it's the college head coach who's everybody questioning and the number one pick quarterback, golden arm guy." It's people wanting to see, will this succeed or fail? It's people wanting to see history being made, because that's what Travis Hunter is doing by, going on this endeavor. That's what the Jaguars are doing. It is a historic goal that they have set out. And when you set out historic goals, as we said before, you're going to be under the microscope. People are going to make something out of everything that Travis Hunter and the Jaguars did. 100%. I thought it was interesting to hear James Gladstone, frankly, even address, some of that, speaking to Sirius XM last week, about where he sees Travis fitting in and, some of his takes so far on what he's seen out of his usage. And he had a great quote that I'd like to pull up. It's James Gladstone. He was talking to Sirius XM's, I believe it was Andrew Siciliano and Max Starks. And he said about Travis, he said, "I do think there's a little bit of a misconception in that it's wide receiver first, corner second, as much as it is the learning and methodology of wide receiver through this phase, and then continuing to trickle in more defense, and that since that is primary background." He also said, "The windows for development in the NFL, they are few and far between. The offseason program is where it exists in its healthiest state. Our understanding that Travis is most naturally comfortable, most naturally in tune on the defensive side of the ball. We wanted to load him offensively through this window to ensure that by the time we got to him in training camp, we had a runway built up on that side, because there's so much more nuance, so much more adjustments in real time on the offensive side of the ball that would require a lot more learning." So with this phase of the process sort of being rooted through that lens, that's why we wanted to put the emphasis on O, knowing that we would then trickle into defensive participation a little bit more toward the back end of the offseason program and really as we get into training camp. That doesn't sound like a general manager who is ready to just plant this guy on offense and let him play defense now. It, like we have said to you guys, it has always seemed since Travis's first practice with the Jaguars that where he needs the most growth and the most teaching and most development is on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, when they drop him in there on defense and the few reps and days that we saw him on defense during the offseason program, the natural, just an absolute natural. Looks like you can drop him in there into an NFL game today, and he can be one of the best players in the game. Wide receiver looks very impressive, in my opinion, makes a lot of impressive grabs, has shown some fine-tune to his route running, and then his athleticism obviously is otherworldly. But James Gladstone's made it clear that they see him as participating on both sides of the ball, and that it's probably not worth looking too much into where is Travis Hunter practicing today? Where is he practicing tomorrow? They will use him as they see fit. It very well, in my opinion, could be a week-to-week thing. And Gladstone even mentioned that, in another quote he said, he was asked, by Andrew Siciliano, who said he averaged, memory serves, like 111 snaps a game. I know you guys are big on sports science. I know you've crunched the numbers. How many can he realistically be on the field? And Gladstone said time will truly tell. And I think the thing that you can, in fact, lean into at this stage is he does not tire. He has got a spark. He has got the energy, the capacity from a physical standpoint, just to be able to do it is certainly there. And it'll be in terms of one game to the next, where does it fit? Where does it make the most sense? Certain game plans might dictate usage differently. So time will truly tell, and I don't know that one game to the next is going to be exact same. But putting a number on it at this stage, I think, probably premature. But look forward to see how it really plays itself out here and him earning his spot on both sides. Certainly going to be an opportunity for him. Got to take advantage of it here down the stretch. They're ready for this kid to play both sides of the ball, and it absolutely seems like they are 100% on board. So Travis Hunter officially signed, big contract, all his guaranteed money up front. big day for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Jacksonville Jaguars Insider Podcast. My name is John Shipley. Please make sure you find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all other podcast platforms, and give us a like, review, and subscription. And you can also find us on YouTube at Sports Videos on SI.